Well, here we are. I'm back to number one. Again here. It is Easter Monday, the 21st of April. And I am just walking past, I've gone past the olive patch and now I'm just approaching the little house that I photographed one time. I use it as a trademark. And I'm heading into Orizon, and the time is 10 to 3 in the afternoon. I spent the last hour or so just uploading over, I had 13 different audio files to upload. And I did manage to put some of them together, but it was still quite a few things to do. Let me just pause for a second. Got a woman coming toward me. Yeah. So I'm always glad when I get that done. Although I did have paranoid thoughts about it today. I said to myself, there's enough audio of you now for the dark powers that be to. You could almost make an AI out of me, I think, with all the AI. You could certainly use my voice to say anything. But mind you, I don't know. So what? Flo's coming back today. She's been away since Thursday with Tuco. And I've had a nice weekend. But tomorrow morning I have to get up at 4:15. Fucking hell. I suppose I shouldn't have expected it to be quiet today, but when I looked down the path it looked all clear, and since then it's like been fucking cars, bikes, people. Yeah, I have to get up at 7:15 tomorrow. And last night I watched Oppenheimer, the movie, and I didn't think much of it, to be honest. It's 3 hours long, and after 2 hours they detonate the nuclear bomb, and then you have an hour of watching Cillian Murphy in rooms with people accusing him of being untrustworthy. It just seemed that the subject of his life wasn't covered very well, I don't think, and it wasn't that interesting. The build-up really was the only thing to the build-up in the desert where they're trying out the bomb for the first time. That obviously was full of suspense because they didn't know what to expect. But then all the other stuff about trying to smear Oppenheimer and trying to take away his security pass, it just seemed like such a small thing. And yet there was just hours and hours on that. And then the way the movie was done in that kind of Christopher Nolan way of, he can't tell a story from just beginning, middle, end. He has to jump around in time. So you start off in 60 something and you go back to 40 something, and like somebody said online as well, I couldn't see any reason for doing that when you're just doing a straight biography of someone. Anyway, it was entertaining enough to watch the whole way through, but it's not something I think I'd ever watch again. I got somebody else coming toward me and another car. Let's just pause for a minute. I was thinking to myself as I walk here, there's something, I thought about this just a few minutes ago. There's something precarious I sometimes feel about my existence. here. I don't know if everybody feels that at some point. Because maybe it's an immaturity, a sign that I'm still somehow thinking my family is going to look after me. And when you live long enough, your family, well, your parents start to disappear. I mean, no one lives forever. So you do end up at some point, if you live long enough, where there is only you, And of course, you do have your, I'm going to pause again. You do have your family. Most people have their children. But I don't have that. And been kind of on my own for the weekend. With no Flo and no Tuco. My life is pretty empty. I mean, in a way, and it depends on what time you ask me. Sometimes I like it like that. And sometimes it's like perfectly fine for me to be on my own and get up and go for a walk and go home and spend my time cooking and then watch something, go to bed. It's not... Time goes very quick. And I'm aware that it's kind of the same for everybody anyway. People might kind of think that they're having a better time because they go on holidays, but somewhere we are all kind of the same, and we've all got the same handful of things that we do every day. And for someone like me, given the choice between sitting somewhere in a Greek restaurant overlooking the sea and being at home in my house cooking my own dinner, I choose to be at home in my own house cooking my own dinner. And so sometimes it's fine, but then other times there's this uncertainty or insecurity comes over me, and I think if Flo wasn't around, I would be here quite alone, and that's kind of a scary thought, because there's still, like I said, there's a part of me still feels I need to be taken care of somehow. Maybe everybody feels that. The part of me that's like, I can do a lot of things on my own. But suppose something turns up and I don't know how to deal with it. I'm just going to take a quick movie here. I'm standing where the old place, it's all kind of knocked down now. It's the place where I once threw a wine bottle with whiskey in it on the roof. And I'm noticing it's got this lovely field of, I don't know what you call this flower. Is it the stuff they use for oil, vegetable oil that we cook with? It's lovely. I haven't noticed it before. I think it's recently all come out in flower. And yeah, I'm here. I'm on my way to Orzon. Yeah, this kind of insecurity that comes and goes. Because to be honest, if I think of being here on my own, it's kind of terrifying, because I don't think I'd be capable of stuff. There's just still a fear of receiving mail or being contacted by someone or having to deal with some business issue that you just can't figure out. Or the ultimate, I suppose, is falling ill and not really being able to deal with it. But like I say, I can't imagine I'm alone in these ideas. But there is, for better or for worse, I don't know whether Flo would feel good about this, because she's obsessed with independence and everybody being independent and not relying on each other, which kind of goes against some of the ideas of being married. But I do feel safer when she's around because she can cope with things and is kind of more intelligent than me in lots of practical matters. I've been trying to catch up, but I'm always a little bit behind, I think. When it comes to dealing with the CAF, for instance, to get some cash, or dealing with the lawyer to try and get the money for the Connemara, and just certain things. I've learned to and do a little bit in other areas. But it's disturbing, that kind of thought of being on your own. And yet maybe it's an incredibly selfish thing and it's not just for practical things, I have to say, it's for moral support, it's to have somebody with you. But there is a large part of it that's to be taken care of if you need help, which is obviously that's not why you're in a relationship. You don't marry someone to take care of you, at least I didn't. I'm getting down to the PowerPoint section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 cars parked here. It's been an evening of people jumping off the hill. And as I get to here, I have to say I'm starting to feel a little two minds about this walk. There's a part of me wants to go back. There's no place, there's no destination with this walk anymore. I found that's had quite an effect on the walk, especially on days like this when it's a bank holiday, so I don't believe anywhere will be open. I could be wrong, maybe there could be a big granny on for all I know, but more than likely everything is closed. So and even if the places are open, like the other day, like many times, if anywhere is busy for whatever reason, I find it difficult to just go to a bar or a cafe or anywhere and just sit down and spend 20-25 minutes taking it easy before I come back. So more often than not, I just walk. I arrive, I walk around, and then I'm heading back, without so much as sitting on a chair. And that has made this walk a little different, because the Connemara was always a nice safe haven. It was a wonderful place to go because it was so private. I just had to get to the door, unlock the door quickly, get inside, and then nobody would see me, hear me, or even know I was there. And I just really liked that. You go to the bar section and you can stay there for 10 minutes or you can stay for an hour, depending on how you feel, and you can carry on recording, or you can make yourself something to eat, It was just a great halfway point in a walk. I kind of miss it sometimes. And today is a bit different. that's the mood of the moment. One of a little insecurity. Also, bizarrely, I'm wearing my green jacket and I don't feel too hot, but nobody else is wearing jackets. I'm passing people all the time. So I'm wondering if people are looking at me going, like I do. If I look at someone who's wearing a jacket in the heat and you think, God, must be roasting, why's he wearing a jacket? Such a stupid thing. The insecurity. I wonder if it's something to do with the whole Flo left on Thursday and I was asking had she arrived on WhatsApp. And she didn't respond to me at all. And I sent more and more messages. And at one point, it must have been at night, and I said, you could have the decency to just tell me if you're okay. So to let me know that you haven't been in a car crash, dramatic. And eventually she did respond and kind of ignored my stuff and just told me she had trouble putting up the tent and stuff. And then I said, that's okay, can you send me some pictures? And I heard nothing more from her. Although in fairness, she did send some pictures to the Maraval group app. But in some moment of annoyance, I deleted the whole thing. I deleted the Maraval group thing. I just thought, I don't want it anymore on the phone. But maybe there's a part that feels, let down or something after, even though it's just been a few days. You wonder how much space you take up in someone's mind, If Flo went off to India for 2 months, how many times would she think of me? And then you start thinking, am I kind of a burden? This goes back to years. Am I someone that she wishes just wasn't there? Because if I wasn't around, maybe her life would be easier. I'm sure that's not the case. But when you're kind of slipping into bad moods or depression, you start to question things. Funny, normally walks like this will enhance my mood. This one's having the opposite effect. Maybe that's why I said I was having second thoughts about carrying on. And I thought maybe I should go back. Well, I'm going to switch off here because I'm fucking tired of hearing myself whinging about shit. Just a quick note, it is still the same day, 21 April. I aborted the walk. I don't do that very often. I just got past the little housing estate that I go through, and I'm walking down there, and I was just feeling kind of depressed and tired, and I thought, oh, what's the point of going all the way in? I may have missed a Vigrenia, I don't know. Although, mind you, I didn't take any money, so, well, I didn't have my card, but one of those rare occasions that I decided to come back. And now I'm back, sweating. I may have a shower later, and yeah, I'm glad to be back. I'm tired. I just seem to be very tired. And that's all. So today is the 21st of April, I believe. It's Tuesday. And what time is it? I just checked. It's about 5:05. And I just got back from my first day after the weekend doing my course. And boy, oh boy, was it difficult today. I had the weekend, I got out of sync with going to bed early. I slept bad last night. And the drive in was really fucking hard as well because it was just bumper to bumper traffic. And the same coming back, but during the class I was tired and I couldn't get into anything we were doing. We were listening to people talking about working on May the 1st, boulangerie and a fleurist. And I can't even remember what we did for the other part of the day, honestly. But I felt fragile. I even felt at one point, I felt dizzy. It was almost like the hangover feeling. And then the teacher, Gracia, she asked me if I had a attestation for the day off, Friday, you know, which everybody kind of knew I just took off because it was a half day and I didn't want to have anything to do with the party. But that kind of fucking annoyed me, which is kind of stupid. It shouldn't annoy me because she's only looking out for me. She wants to make sure I get paid. That's all. Oh, Tuco is having a poo. Two people passed him on a bike. Oh, did you have your poo, Tuco? Did you poo? Did they put you off? Did they put you off? I can't see anything. Allez. Allez, petit peu. Tuco. Allez, c'est bon. Yeah, it's really just me. Because in the end, Komar she was off Thursday, Friday as well. So in the end, she said, oh, you know, if you're off Friday, they also mark you off Saturday, Sunday, and the Monday. And I found that just really fucking weird, because I didn't even think we were getting paid for the weekend. But I guess we are. But the fact if you miss the Friday, you're also put down for missing the week. I just don't. No one's in the weekend. I couldn't get my head around that. But in the end, God bless her. She wrote me and Komal. She signed us both in for the whole thing, you know. So it's like I did a full week. But I really wasn't. Let's just go to the tree, Tuco, and then we come back, yeah? Huh? Do you want to go back? What's wrong? You want to go back? Yeah, I just, I wasn't on the best of form. And right now, even, I had a dream last night that Tuco was being chased by two lions, like in the African jungle. And I couldn't get to him, and I knew he couldn't outrun the lions, and so I'm going to put the lead. We're going back already. Let me just put the lead. We were coming back here yesterday, me and Flo, and Brad was just waiting for us at the top of the path. Luckily, Patrice came along with Rosanna at the same time, and he just seemed to say something to Brad, and Brad seemed to go off toward the olive patch, I think. But that's probably why I had that dream. And now I'm walking with the stick again after a long time of not bothering with the stick. Now I'm, like I say, I'm not feeling the best. So this afternoon as well, I was just, maybe I drank too much coffee, and I didn't eat anything because I went to Lidl to pick up a sandwich and a packet of little mini Mars bars, and then I went to the checkout. There was one person at one checkout, all the rest closed, and there was about 4 people with full trolleys, as well as about another 6 people with smaller amounts of stuff. So I would have been waiting an hour. I had to just put the stuff back. I had to put the stuff back and go back to the class without anything. So I had a banana and some chocolate today, and 3 cups of coffee. So that's probably why that wouldn't help you feel great either, I think. Flo's not feeling good either. She didn't sleep well. Her bones are aching, and she was exhausted as well, I think, after her weekend. The drive back, there was 2 cars behind me all the way back. I'm starting to worry about if something happens to my car. It's sometimes it's Mondays. It's not a Monday, but it's kind of like a Monday. Can be difficult, and then you find that you can have a very good Tuesday because you're kind of exhausted Monday night. You sleep well. You sleep well, and then Tuesday, although it's not going to, it's Wednesday, you're kind of you're in a good place, and you're able to concentrate better, and you enjoy things more, and the day goes fast, and you're a little more alert in the car. And I am constantly aware of the fact that this is a very temporary thing. This whole course will finish in July, and I don't know how I'll be feeling then, because at least now, I should say to myself, at least you're doing stuff, and at least now you can lie around and relax for the rest of the day, and no one's going to be looking at you, or you're not going to be looking at yourself. Stop and feeling guilty about anything, you know. Anyway, that was a very short walk. I am going to switch off. This is a pretty short little thing. I'll probably stick this 21st with the next day, whenever I do another recording. Adios. Wow, we're on number 4 already. I just uploaded about 13 of these. It seems like a few days ago. Anyhow, today is the 30th of May. I mean, no, it's not. It's the 30th of April. Sorry. It's the 30th of April, but imagine we're already almost into May of this year. And it's 8:45 in the morning, Wednesday. And it's a nice morning, but everything is very damp and soft because it's been raining very heavy the whole of yesterday. But today it is just total blue sky, no clouds. And I was supposed to be in class today, but for some reason that I'm finding more and more kind of intriguing, we couldn't go because the room has been used, I think, by the Generation S people themselves, like Grazia and the teacher, but I don't really know how you can book a room for a few months and then not have it at some days, or how if 3 or 4 people want to have a conference meeting, they can't find some other way of doing it, but then they're not going to be there to teach. I don't know, it's bizarre that the whole day, not that I care, but You'd think you'd have a conference meeting, an hour or so, 2 would be enough. You could do it and then carry on the class. But anyway, I'm home today. But there's lots of exercises Grazie has given us. It's become a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest. Because the Frelo thing, well, the ones she's given us, I don't find them easy anymore. You have to keep reading the page that's, let's say, a very complicated menu or a holiday brochure, and then answer all these questions. And it's something, it could take you 30 minutes to do the exercise. And she's also given us lots of stuff to write. So I'll do a bit. I'll do a few hours even. And then the worst thing for me is I'm supposed to have a look at this work immersion stage, getting a job, French travail, pay the employer thing. And like all of these things online, I fucking hate it. Because I can't figure them out. They seem to be the most complicated things to me, these online forms, and you're just looking for the companies that are involved in this, and then trying to find something that's in any way suitable for a guy like me. It's just, I find it so difficult. I'd almost prefer if someone like Grazie or the French Travail people would just, they say, okay, we're going to put you in a supermarket here for a week. You're going to do this. You don't have to do that yourself. We'll do it for you. And I don't know what happens if I don't succeed at this, if I don't find anything. I mean, it's the very end of the course, so I don't know why I'd be too bothered money-wise, because by then the thing is kind of finished. They're not going to pay me once the course is finished anyway, so it's maybe the last week. So you kind of think, who cares? But yesterday and today, it's bothering me, just the complexity of it for me. It's on my mind. I guess it's a reminder as well of perhaps what to expect when the course is completely finished. Am I going to go back to this thing in the morning where I'm just sitting at the laptop with stuff in front of me that I don't understand, being kind of anxious? And the other thing is, if I did get a job somewhere, I really don't want it to be in Manosque, because I don't want to travel there every day. It just brings all that stuff back. Anyway, things have had a way of working out, actually. Look at me doing this course. That wasn't something even in my mind at the beginning of the year. Actually, it's really important to remember that, because like I often say to myself, in my time in prime time, you know, even at the end, there was no idea that I'd ever go to France. There was no idea I'd do this course. It came out of the blue. It's kind of both good things and bad. There was no way I thought I'd be having some treatment on my eye in Nice either in 2022. It just came out of the blue. So I think one has to keep that in mind in a positive way, and just think, well, you don't know what is going to unfold and who's going to give you some information and what's going to happen within the next few weeks. So kind of do your best just to look at the forms and understand them, ask questions if you have any questions. try and get some searching going, try and send off a couple of letters. Maybe for the sake of this week thing, it would be okay to take a job in Super U or Ocean or any of the big places like that. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. I'm gonna go back home after this walk to start the laptop up, get my French out, maybe try and do an exercise on Frelo, just one, because that will put my conscience at rest, I think, for now. And then me and Flo will probably do some shopping this week sometime to get my new, not the mattress for the bed, but the bed part itself, and to get me some a locker or something. And then she'd like to paint a bit of the room. And when I think of looking for jobs and stuff, and then I think, would you rather look for jobs or be going around Conforama and getting paint to paint your bedroom? And it's not very often. It's not very often there's something to motivate me to paint or to go to Conforama. But this time I'm like, yeah, I prefer to be doing that than doing not the French, but to be doing the fucking job stuff. And like I say, it's not that I don't want to get a job, it's just the fucking process. If I was getting lots of chances in various places, I'd be delighted to try them all out. I don't really want to, or I don't really see myself either being in the house all the time, for one thing. I've learned, rather slowly perhaps, that that's kind of a depressing thing to do. There's been quite a few times now I've looked forward to the weekend, of course, the weekend, and then Friday is great when you're driving home. But by the time you get to Saturday evening, you're kind of, you're not in the best place because you're just a little fed up, you know. So I realise, like with the Connemara, the day is more enjoyable if there is some kind of duties in it. Obviously you don't want it to be absolutely awful stuff. You don't want to be waking up and sweating with the anxiety because you have to go somewhere. No. Ideally you want it to be something you enjoy. But coming home at, 5 o'clock even, it really makes the day that much better. And then when you just have the weekend off again, it's you appreciate it more. But kind of going around and being a bit depressed. Shall we go back, Tuco? Allez. I know it's not really good, and it doesn't really work for me anymore. Also leads to bad habits. I should keep all those things in mind when I'm searching. I should realize that the job is, well, the money is one thing and keep everybody happy, but it's kind of more than that. It's for my own self-esteem, because I do feel bad when I'm not kind of contributing. And it would be nice to be back working. I think it'd be something to be proud of, you know. Because I can get knocked a lot about, God, I've been in France so long, you're not fluent in the language, and God, you have no qualifications and you learned nothing during your life, you're not qualified to do anything. But if I was to get a job, I've kind of been saying this for a long time, if I could get a job and keep improving my French as I move into 60, I think I should be proud of that. I haven't given up. There's probably a lot of people at this age in maybe similar circumstances that would have just stopped. The course actually has given me a bit of a lease of life. I think it's made me feel a bit young again. Just to be in a situation where you kind of genuinely feel that people are happy to see you in the morning, and that when it comes to my turn to say something or to speak in French, there is they like to hear what I can say, because they know there's a good chance that I'm going to be funny at some point. That makes such a difference, I think. There's a guy in the other group, I've never seen him smile, and every morning I hear him having heated discussions with his teacher, the black woman. I don't know what it's like about politics in Saudi Arabia or Africa. And when he's talking, he seems to always be serious. And I was saying yesterday, he's the type of guy you'd see at the protests. And if you discuss things with him, he would get very annoyed if you put across different points of view. He wants you kind of on his side, or he's going to do his best to, in his mind anyway, cure your ignorance. But a person like that, very serious day-to-day political, I think it's preferable to have some lightness. And I'm lucky, as most of the people in my group anyway, they're like me. They've all got good sense of humour. Even Ishmed, who was very quiet and introverted to himself, and now he's not, and I don't know if his character is just like that, or if the effect of the group has kind of had a good effect on him. It's kind of, he's kind of adapted to the way the group is, which is quite friendly, and like I said, no one's too serious. Of course, it's all a bit of, what's the word? Suggestion. I don't really know what's in people's minds. I don't really. The thing as well with a lot of the girls here, I think they're married to men that are engineers and various things, or in Grace's case, I think her husband is quite wealthy for some reason or another, so I'm not sure they're all desperate in need of employment. I'm heading back with Tuco in the sunshine. You can hear all the birds. It's lovely in the morning for the birds. Needless to say, everything around me is very green. And now nearly up to the knees. It's going to grow a lot in the next month. We've got maize in front of our house, which hasn't started yet. I should do a film just to show the before and after. That's going to somewhat take away our view, especially for where I am now, coming to the turn here. I'm not going to be able to see our house, or Vaux, or Villeneuve. So that's the news for now. That is the state of play on this 30th of April, coming toward the famous May with the bank holidays all over the place. I should go home and set up my desk. And start to do something for the day. Like I said, I have no resistance to doing French stuff. I just have a resistance to the French Travail fucking site. But if I just slowly go through it, the funny thing is it's in English. I can't figure it out in English even, let alone French. I maybe should consider, if I find a nice location, if I could find someone near, like in Orizon, and just keep in mind the traveling for the week. That might compensate for the job if it's like, I just have to, well, shit, I can even walk maybe in the summer, I could walk. Let's say it was Pearl Island, I could just walk. Or Douce. Yeah, I could drive, take me 5 minutes. Maybe I should concentrate on those places. Because at the end of the day, if I was to get kept on in a place, it would be one of those I'd prefer, obviously, for the distance. Somehow working in a place too that's near. I think even if it's not the nicest job, there's a compensation to be had by knowing that you're just down the road. Anyway, that's 19 minutes. Let's wait for 20. I'm almost back to the road here. And yes, that's the way it is today. And it's good. We're all pretty happy. I mean, there's nothing, everything is going pretty well at the moment. It's nice to have things to do and stuff. Flo seems content. And with that, I will say goodbye.